Hi folks, my name's Kev and welcome to the second video in this series that I'm doing on understanding the fretboard. In the first video I showed you a couple of ways to name any note on the fretboard to find your way around. And I also introduced this pizza that I came up with. I took a pizza, I cut it up into 12 slices, each slice representing a semitone. So we get a visual representation of what the major scale looks like. It's just a little bit easier to understand, I think, if you can see it. If you haven't seen that video, there should be a link up here somewhere, and if not, it'll be in the description below. Chords are built from triads. So for our A major scale, the first triad we come up with is the 1, 3, 5. So the first the notes based on the first, the third, and the fifth scale degree. So the root, A, and we've got a 5 here on the D string, another root on the G string, a third on the B string, and a fifth on the high E string. Notes that go along with those are A, E, A, C sharp, and E. See, in that chord shape, there is only 3 notes, A, C sharp, and E. It's just that we happen to have repeated a couple of those notes to get a nice full sounding 5 string or 5 string chord. Now, the root isn't the only note we can build a triad from. We can build a triad from every one of those scale degrees using that same pattern of 3s. So instead of root 3, 5, we can build a chord from the second scale degree, the B, and that would be 2, 4, and 6. So the second, the fourth, and the sixth scale degree will give us our second chord. Now, if I look at that in the context of B, so I take my pizza and I flip it around so that B is on the root, then I can see that root 3, 5 there will give me a B, a D sharp, and an F sharp. Going back to looking at it from the point of view of A, the 2, 4, 6 in A, we have B, D, and F sharp. In the context of B, the third has been flattened from a D sharp to a D. Now, a triad with a flattened third creates a minor chord. So, major chords, root 3, 5. Minor chords, root flat 3 and 5. And diminished chords have a flattened third and a flattened fifth. So, root flat 5, root flat 3, flat 5. So those are the 3 flavors of chord that we're going to get on our pizza. So that gives us, for our 2 chord, is going to be a B minor. So if we go to the 3 chord, or the chord built from the 3rd scale degree, we would end up with the 3, 5, and 7. So that is going to give us a C sharp, an E, and a G sharp. Again, if we take our pizza and we flip it around to put the C sharp at the root, we can see that our 1, 3, 5 there would be a C sharp, an E sharp, and a G sharp. So again, we've got this flattened third to give because we need an E, not an E sharp. So from the context of C sharp, we've got a flat 3. So again, our 3 chord is going to be minor, a C sharp minor. So far we've got our major, minor, minor. So A, B minor, C sharp minor. Now for the 4 chord, or the chord built from the 4th scale degree, we would be looking at 4, 6, root. Again, take our pizza, flip it around, and put the fourth at the root, that D, and our 1, 3, 5 there gives us a D, an F sharp, and an A. So going back to A, we had D, F sharp, and A. So exactly the same. So that is major. So our 4 chord is going to be a D major. For our 5 chord, or the chord built from the 5th scale degree, we're going to be looking at 5, 7, 2, because we keep going round the circle. Just keep going around the circle until we run out of notes, building in threes. So 5, 7, root gives us E, G sharp, and B. Again, take our pizza and we flip it around to put that E on the root, because the E's the 5th, so we stick that around. Now we put it onto the root and we look at it in the context of E, and look at our 1, 3, 5 there. We have E, G sharp, and B. So same notes again, so we don't have to modify anything. So our 5 chord is going to be an E. For the 6th chord, or the chord, the triad built from the 6th scale degree, we're going to be looking at the 6, the root, and the 3. So F sharp, A, and C sharp. So again, if we take that pizza and we flip it around and put that F sharp on the root and look at the 1, 3, 5 we get from there, we get F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. So again, we need to flatten that third to get an A, which is what we need within our key of A. So again, we've got a flat third. So again, it's going to be minor. So F sharp minor. For the last one, which is the 7 chord, we're going to be looking at 7, 2, 4. The 7th scale degree, the 2nd scale degree, and the 4th. So again, working in threes, just working around that pizza in threes. So we take that pizza and we flip it around again and put G sharp as the root and look at a 1, 3, 5. The notes we would get would be G sharp, B sharp, and D sharp. What we need, or what we've got in our scale, is G sharp, B, and D. So our 3 from the context of G sharp, our 3rd and our 5th have been flattened. So a triad with a flat 3 and a flat 5 is diminished. So there's your diminished chord. So there's a nice one here, I think, if I remember rightly. Should give us a nice diminished chord. There. So what we've ended up with is A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, and back to A again. And that's all the chords that are available in the key of A. So 7 chords, 7 notes in the scale, 7 chords, 7 triads built from each one of those scale degrees in threes. So it's known as tertian chord theory. Tertian just means thirds, built in threes. Fancy name for something that's actually quite simple, really. So how can we use the fretboard to figure that out? Well, basically, it's your major scale. So a nice simple pattern to do that with. We're in A, so I'm going to stick to A. If I have my root here, that's my A. 2nd here, it's a B. 3rd here, that's a C sharp. 4th here, that's a D. fifth here, that's an E. Sixth there, that is an F sharp. And of course, remember, we can go backwards round our scale as well. So if we go down one from the root, we get the seventh. That's a G sharp, or an A flat, G sharp, because we can't have two notes the same in the scale. You'll never find an A and an A flat in the same scale. It's an A and a G sharp. So, and the pattern always works out as major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Now you can use that cage system we looked at before to pick out wherever you want to play, whichever chord voicings or chord shapes you want to use to play those. But you're not just limited to those, because we're playing triads here, not necessarily full chords. So as long as it's got your three notes in it, you can, then opens up a myriad of options. So for instance, we're on the diminished chord we've got up at the moment. So let's see, we've got a 7. We'll have a 4 there, and we could have another 2 here. So it would be a G sharp diminished as well. That's muting the D string. So yeah, the world's your oyster. You've got lots of choices, lots of notes and combinations to pick from, and the ones you choose is entirely up to you. And different chord voicings will give you slightly different feels as well. So happy playing. And again, as always, if you think I've glossed over something or I've not really explained it well enough to you, you're still confused or you don't understand something, drop a comment below and I will answer as best as I can. And maybe towards the end of this series, if there's lots of comments and questions, I'll maybe put a video together answering all of those as well. Okay, thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye. Happy playing.